Hello there folks, and welcome back to Space Engineers Survival Exploration Mode. And as per the usual, I have been busy off screen doing things, and yes, as you can see, I docked the mothership with our new shipbuilding ship, and that was quite the experience. As you can see right here, they are connected via connector, which means when we build our ship, it will suck out supplies from our mothership, which means we don't even really have to transfer these supplies into the cargo containers, which makes life a whole lot easier for us. And I have been building a whole bunch of supplies, which we will be taking a look at shortly. However, one thing we have to do before we build this is not only do we have to extend this to its fullest extent, we have to create a little I don't know what you would want to call it, a framework, so that the blocks touch the very end, because we have to have some sort of block that touches the end block to get it to start being built, I suppose you could say. Because there needs to be some sort of block touching another block for the projection to be built. That's just the way it works. There's no way around that. So we're going to have to do that. And I'm not sure if we actually have enough material to make the ship. And the reason for that is, well, we're gonna have to go mining again soon, because we are out of quite a few resources, actually. Well, nope, don't turn my jetpack off. I forgot that the gravity on this is not on. Alright, so let's make our way through here. And I will show you what we are lacking. So if we go into, well, we can go to an assembler or a refinery, it doesn't really matter. But if we open up the inventory, we'll notice that if we type in cobalt, we really don't have much of that at all. Well, actually, we have a little bit of cobalt, that's right. I brought some over from our Voyager ship. However, we are also running low on the platinum. We are running low on the gold as well, and the silver AG. Let's see what we have for silver. We do have a little bit, but we are running quite low. Well, maybe not on the silver, but definitely on the gold and platinum. So let's go to the production. I do believe that we're still making some stuff here. Was it production number 6? So we are out of... We're missing some sort of component to build this. Required. We are out of cobalt, according to this. Well, that's not quite the case. We'll have to look into that. Well, let's go look at the inventory. Cobalt. So we still have some in our assembler 12. Well, I'm gonna throw that over to our assembler 6, and there we go. We'll get building on some of this stuff again, because we need as many of those thrust components as possible. But we are going to be running out of this fairly soon. As you can see, each one of those thrust components uses a significant amount of, well, pretty much everything. Yeah, all this is going down fairly quickly, and we're going to need several thousand thrust components. Alright, well, while that is building, let us get ready to start building our massive ship. So the first thing that we'll need is, well, I should have stayed in there, but actually, you know what? We are running low on the energy, so let's jump in here. In fact, we'll be able to grab everything that we need from in here, I believe. There is gravity here, so we can turn off our jetpack. Open, please. There we go. Let's just hop in here just to refuel our energy. That should be good enough for the rest of the episode. And let's take a look in here. We need some steel plate. And we have quite a lot of it. As you can see, we needed to make a bunch, because the ship is going to require a metric butt ton of steel plate to make. So we have a lot sitting around now. In fact, I don't know if we have enough, but we do have a lot. In fact, let's just go to production and let's queue up some more steel plates. We have enough iron, we just don't have enough steel plates, so. Queue up a couple thousand into a couple of assemblers that are not doing anything at the moment. And that should be good then. And one more thing, I think we might need some bulletproof glass as well. I don't know if we have a lot of that sitting around. And finally, I think Assembler 6 is the one that's making everything. Yeah, we're running pretty low on that gold ingots. They'll probably run out before we finish those. Before we finish the thrust components. But we'll see how many we can make. Also, enable sharing. What don't we have? Well, let's cancel that, as we need the steel plates more than we need the gravity generator components, because even if all of the components don't, or all of the blocks aren't finished being made when we make this ship, we can always go in and finish them by hand, but it will certainly speed up the process by using this ship over here. So, speaking of using that, let's... Did I actually grab any steel plate? Yes, I did. Okay, good. What we're going to do is we're going to need to extend the welding pad. So we're going to go to the control panel, pistons, we're going to reverse it, and we're going to do the max distance. We're going to shrink it to about 7, because it doesn't need to go as far as it went last time. And we're going to stop it as soon as it gets to, well, the point where we need to stop it. Alright, well, let's get on out of here. And how far do we need it to go? Okay, well, it's almost there. And we will have to probably finish some of this ship via the welding ship over there, but this will get the vast majority of it done, so that will be nice. And we have some light armor blocks here. We are going to use as scaffolding to reach the end of the ship, wherever that is going to be. Almost there. In fact, I can probably go head back inside to make sure that we catch it in time. And then we'll bring the scaffolding and we'll actually start welding this episode and see what we can finish. Alright, how far do we need to go yet? Almost there. Yep, we are almost there, so I'm going to go to our control panel, pistons. Whoop, don't want to do that. There we go, 0. Toggle blocks off. Let's see how far we need to go yet. Well, maybe just a wee bit further. In fact, I'm just going to fiddle with this until we get it just right. Alright, well, we have it just about exactly where we need it. So next we are actually going to lower the projection by, I believe, 1 block is all that we need to do. So we're going to go into the control panel, projector, and the vertical offset is going to be, what is it, 1 up, 1 down. There we go. That should help a whole lot. In fact, I think that will be just about perfect. And now we just need to make our scaffolding. And as you see, I was in the flight seat over there, as it made it quite a lot easier to control, because I actually could see what I'm doing. So let's start building the scaffolding that we need. We're going to need to make sure that it's low enough and out of the way, so I will just build it right on the same level as this. And then we're going to turn on the welders, and hopefully we'll see some part of the ship being made. This is going to take a little bit of time, as the ship that we're making is actually quite sizable and long. And I do need to make sure that the scaffolding stays out of the way of the actual ship, because that would be a problem. And we are just about there. Just a little bit further. There we go, just about. I think we can extend this a wee bit further, and now we can go up with our scaffolding. And this scaffolding is going to get destroyed as soon as we don't need it anymore. And now we can one more block up, and then we can start building forward until they touch the projection. There we go. It's touching the projection, which means those blocks should be made. All right, let's see this thing in action. Let's turn the welders on and see what happens. So let's fly on over to our flight seat and take some action. And hop on in, control panel. I don't believe we have welders set up to a block, so let's do that. Take all of our welders, all 170 of them. Save that, turn it on. And yep, there we go. It started building our ship, the front of our ship at least. So which means, let's slowly move this backwards. It might help if I turn the toggle block on first. There we go. In fact, that's way too fast. Way too fast. Not going to be able to build everything in time. Well, actually, maybe we can. I know what I'll do. We'll have to do it manually, but it will still work. What we'll do is we'll take the first piston, we will turn it on, and we'll reverse it at a little bit higher of a speed. At about 0.8 meters per second. Should be good. And then we'll have to go down the line and do it like that. But yeah, we're making the ship pretty nicely right here. In fact, I might do this in a sped up sequence so you can see it in action. Alright, well I stopped the welding process. Well, my welders are still on, so actually I technically didn't. Let's turn my welders off. Well, we stopped making the ship because, well, we ran out of materials already, which isn't a good sign. So we're going to have to go do some iron mining, some cobalt mining, some gold mining next episode. As well as that, I completely forgot that in the past couple of updates, not sure which one, we actually need metal grids for heavy armor blocks, and I didn't really make a whole bunch of those, so we're going to have to do that. However, let's actually take a look at exactly what we built. So let's turn off the projection so we can actually see what we made. And when we turn on the projection, it'll be in the exact same location, so it's not an issue if we turn off the projection right now. So let's go do that. Projector, toggle that block off. And let's see what we actually built so far. So, not bad at all. However, we do need to do some touch-up work. I'll do that obviously off screen. It does look like we are going to need to finish some of this by hand. Yeah, we're definitely out of metal grids, and that's the big issue at the moment. So, we are going to have to build the metal grids by hand and do some touch-up work on the front of the ship. As we did start off welding a wee bit quickly, but we'll get it. We'll get it in due time. So, all right. Now that we know that we need to do some mining, let's hop in our transport ship Actually, maybe we should just hop in one of the ships that has a jump drive and head on over to the mining station, because we do have a mining station with an awesome mining ship already, so that would save us a lot of work. So let's just jump in this behemoth and get started. And we'll go to our mining location and go from there. Uh-oh. That's not good. Well, let's head in. Actually, we don't have to go in there. We can just head in our cockpit and do things from there. Into the flight seat. We need to make sure that we set the jump drive to jump. There we go. We also have to set the correct destination via control panel. We don't want to do a blind jump. We want to do the mining beacon. Select. Make sure that that's exactly what we want, and it is. So, commence jump, because we need to get some more material to build the ship. Alright. Where, oh where are we? Oh, the salvage zone is over there. Where is the mining beacon? The mining beacon is beneath us. So let's struggle on over there, and we can get some mining done then. Alright, there we are, and yep, there is our awesome mining ship, which is sitting out in the middle of nowhere. And alright. Slow on down, and absolutely perfect. Let's hop on out. Head on down. And say hello to our mining ship, which we haven't seen in numerous episodes. Whoops. I think I may have accidentally left my door open. Well, there goes all my oxygen. Whoops. So what else did we leave here? So we have this awesome mining ship. Looks like we have some other ship that we left here. Oh yeah, that's right. That's our fighter. Cool. Well, let's head on in our mining ship and see what resources we have available to us. Because I do believe that this is the location that had all of the resources that we needed. Yep, we have ice, platinum, gold, silicon, uranium, iron. Perfect. Everything that we need, I believe. Well, do we have cobalt? Maybe. Just can't see it yet, probably. And there's a couple of other asteroids around there. So, yes, indeed. So, next episode, we're going to do some mining. Thank you, folks, for watching, and I will see you guys next time.